Alrighty, sometime in October 2015, and for the next couple of days I will be getting ready to put the ribs on the soundboard. The ribs are those long pieces of wood that are they tangential to the grain? Is that a word? Did I just make that up? They're perpendicular to the grain. And we all know from our last class together that they're there to do a couple things. They help support the weight of the strings. The bridge goes over the top there, and they're helping support the soundboard, but they also do create a thing called crown, which is the shape the soundboard takes on, which is, it's not flat, it's poked up in the middle, diaphragmatically shaped, as Steinway would say. And you can tell the soundboard is pretty flappy like this. And when you bend a piece of wood, it does something, it stiffens it up. Okay, I heard it, I said it. Anyway, so we want more stiffness, not just to support the weight of the strings, but to change the timbre, I think, of the piece of wood. That's my own personal opinion. So anyway, what we got to do is, first things first, we got to make sure this thing fits perfectly into the soundboard, which is just going to simply be a matter of, it's oversized right now, so it won't fit in. Just with a pencil, start taking wood off of that thing with our little implements of destruction here. There's a really rough block plane, and then finer planes and a spoke shave, which I don't have it, and we'll complete this curve. And it's very important that it fit very tightly into this thing called the rast, which is also, it has to fit very tightly against the case. That's one of the things that's going to help, that as the strings are pushing that diaphragm down and trying to get it to expand, the case has got to hold it there. It's also important to have it fit because this glue surface is super important to have glued down. If there's a slightest void, there's a slightest problem in there, it will buzz and you will be in big trouble. And especially here, especially this area. Why? Because again, that very flappy soundboard, if it didn't fit over here on the side and the strings were pushing it down, it wouldn't care. But wood, which is much stiffer along this grain, I can't show it, it's not as flappy like that. So now you're pushing, the strings are pushing down here, and this rast, which isn't level by the way, it's also pointed up to help that diaphragmatic shape. And you now have a lever situation where the bridge pushes down, that soundboard pops up in the back, and you have a gap that will buzz and will make you very sad. So the most important, not that every area isn't important. Two very important areas are up here, and also here's a little damage that I have to repair because that's so important. Where this dowel was originally just weakened this grain, and you can see I didn't even break this taking it out. This was broken from a long time ago. The oxidation there proves that I did not break it, but I will have to repair it anyway. So to glue the ribs on, also I do something that is not original with the Steinway design, in that I mechanically impose a smiley face on the bottom of the soundboard to help support the crown. These, when Steinway made this originally, that was flat and that was flat. Again, they dried this soundboard, squished it down, glued these cleats, we call them ribs, cleats on one side, and as the soundboard took on moisture, it couldn't expand in the back. It expanded on the top. This is the bottom. It expanded on the top, and it refused to expand on the bottom, and it popped up in the middle. Now what I'm going to do is put a slight smiley face on these now flat pieces of wood. When I'm done with them, I'm going to squish this down to here, clamp it with this clamp, and then I'm going to plane a flat surface on the top. And then when you release this, instead of what now is a negative something or other, will be a positive whatever. I have no idea what I'm saying, but that's what's going to happen. But I also do the drying in the hot box slightly. And the thought there is, if you've dried the wood too much, you can compromise the cellular structure, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know why, but you can end up with cracks, early cracks in a soundboard, which isn't any good, and we want to avoid that. Also, which, I don't know, this may take too long to set up, but here's a piano out here. Stick with me. I'm sorry, you may be vomiting from getting swung around too much, but I'm sorry. But anyway, this piano, if you can see it, the soundboard has really popped up off of the ribs there. Now here's the soundboard. There may be some way to fix this. You know, if you have any ideas, just keep them to yourself, because I don't care. I'm not going to try to fix this soundboard. It's going to get replaced. I think if you tried to clamp that back down and were successful in squishing it back down on there, I don't think it would stay. So I'm not even going to stress about that too much. It's getting a new soundboard. So anyway, that's what I'll be doing for the next 3 or 4 days, hopefully. And I'll get back to you.